Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod After Dark. I am Jeff, and being an old decrepit bag of bones, that's what's ridiculous. Getting old. And joining me on the other end of the internet, my host.
I'm Leslie, and thank God I'm glad I weren't on fire. I would have burned to death before you got one button undone.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm beginning to think that Randy Quaid is not a good lay. That's what I'm getting to.
You think?
You serious, Clark? It's hard not to do that.
That's who he is.
Yes, that's who he is.
Amazing.
I know, right? This week, Cheesemeisters, we are talking about The Last Picture Show, the 1971 topless American graffiti masterpiece, written by Larry McMurtry and Peter Bogdanovich, directed by Peter Bogdanovich, starring Timothy Bottoms as Sonny, Jeff Bridges as Dwayne, Sybil Shepherd, or as my note here says, Cyril Shepherd, because autocorrect is a thing, playing JC, Ben Johnson as Sam the Lion, Maggie the cat's dad, one assumes, Cloris Leachman as Ruth, Ellen Burstyn as Lois, Hubba Hubba, Eileen Brennan as Genevieve, Hubba Hubba.
Also Hubba Hubba.
Clue Gulagar as Abilene, and Sam Bottoms as Billy. We are watching this in conjunction with Season 5, Episode 2, Under the Influence. Initially because everything I Googled says this was about like a Texas debutante, and I guess it kind of is. But mostly because it's about Texas boys who don't give a hoot that she's a virgin. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Our spelling connection is Sybil Shepherd. She was in an episode of Fantasy Island. Also, Cloris Leachman was in Love Boat, and Eileen Brennan was in Seventh Heaven, which I think we know from our previous Eileen Brennans.
Yes.
This movie is 98% critic approved, 89% popometer approved. This movie won awards. Did you know it?
I didn't know that. What did it win?
It did. It won 2 Oscars, one for Best Supporting Actress for Cloris Leachman.
Great.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And one for Best Supporting Actor for Ben Johnson as Sam the Lion.
Absolutely.
Apparently 9 minutes and 35 seconds of screen time was the shortest time ever for an actor to be on screen and win Best Supporting Actor. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Sam the Lion looms large over this picture, but he's not in it very much. It's pretty interesting. Neither one of us had seen this movie before. What did you know about it going in?
All I knew about this movie was that Dawson and Joey see it on their first date, and it is a movie that they see again later on. And as I was watching it, I went, this was clearly foundational to Kevin Williamson, because
that doesn't surprise me.
And we can talk about that more and what else, but like I had only heard of this movie. I know when we looked it up for another episode, I thought, well, this sounds like something I would really like. You know, I've been curious about it for a little bit, but I knew nothing about it.
I forgot to mention that it was also nominated for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor for Jeff Bridges, Best Director, Best Writing, and Best Cinematography. So this was liked and appreciated across the board. I tell you what I knew about this movie. I knew about the behind the scenes stuff. I didn't know anything the movie was about. But did you listen to the You Must Remember This season on Polly Platt?
No, I didn't.
Okay. It's worth it. She was Peter Bogdanovich's wife and creative partner until this movie, when he fell in love with Sybil Shepherd and started an affair with her and broke up their family, and it was a whole fucking thing. And then
that
he was
never
with Sybil
happens
Shepherd
anymore.
No, I know. He was with Sybil Shepherd for quite a while, doing like 4 more movies with her.
Wow.
But yeah. So I knew about this movie through listening to that podcast, which was specifically about her contributions to it, and her contributions to her uncredited contributions largely to the myth of Peter Bogdanovich as auteur director. So highly recommend. Totally worth listening to. And I don't want to get into a lot of the Polly Platt of it all and or the behind the scenes stuff either because it's handled so much better elsewhere and I don't know enough about it to really paint too clear of a picture on it.
Okay.
But that was all happening, and that's sort of what I knew about it. And I knew that this was like Sybil Shepherd's first thing, and super young Jeff Bridges, and a bunch of unknown actors. But I didn't know what it was about at all. So total blank slate going into this movie. Did it live up to your expectation of, I think this is a movie I will probably like?
That remains to be seen because this one is, I need to sit and think on it for a while. I need to
Yeah.
discuss this movie with people. I don't think it's going to rank unfavorably with
Mm-hmm.
me. Um, and like, you know, we were both captivated watching it last night, but it's such a strange movie viewing experience. Anytime you're watching something where you're just watching life happen, it's
Mm.
taking its time.
Mm-hmm.
It's slow, you know?
Yeah, it is slow.
It's quite slow, but I think that's on purpose. And
Mm.
I I can appreciate the fact that they said, no, no one gets out of here quickly.
Or at
Um,
all.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I answered the question.
No, you kind of did. Um, I'm also not. This movie's really good. I
Yeah.
don't know how much I liked the experience of it. Um,
Yeah.
it's another one that's sitting with me a little bit, so that's interesting. Um, and
I'll
I
tell you
always
this.
appreciate that.
I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna leave me with the warm, fuzzy feeling or any hope, like say a John Hughes movie,
No.
or even Dazed and Confused kind of leaves me with something in the
Mm-hmm.
end, you know? Um, even in American Graffiti, which, this was, like you said, the topless version of American
Mm-hmm.
Graffiti, much more drawn out. Uh, but again, that seems right. It wouldn't have felt right for this movie to end on some amazingly hopeful note. Like, I think you
No.
get it at some point. You are watching what it's like to live and die in a small town.
Yeah, a town that is almost. I don't even know why that town is there. My guess is that it's where people like they set up a town to drill for oil and maybe it didn't come in.
Yeah, or
You know.
or like it had a lot going for it at one point. Maybe there was a factory. Maybe at a certain point in history, there was something that brought people there or made it a lush
Mm-hmm.
community. Uh, I mean, I could see something like the Great Depression totally knocking that town, and it
Yeah.
because that town still looked like it was in the Dust Bowl,
Uh huh. Well,
and
I
it's
mean,
supposed
you
to be the
without
50s.
Billy sweeping up the streets, it would have been.
Yeah,
I mean, it's there's like Lois, JC's mom. Um, her husband got rich in oil.
mm,
Like we learned that in that conversation that she's having with JC, where she's like, you married Daddy when he was poor and got him rich. He's like, yeah, because I scared him into getting rich. You're not scary enough to get Dwayne to be rich. Um, so like I think that it worked out for them, but everybody else is just in this town where there's nothing going on. Like
yeah,
even by Texas standards, the main thing that people rally around is the high school football team, and this football team sucks.
and they are gonna let you know, because how dare you be a young person who's not giving it your all to the
Yeah.
game?
Have you tried tackling? Maybe
Oh my
tackle
god.
somebody. That might help. Yeah, the whole beginning of this movie is Dwayne and Sonny, who are the captains of this football team, walking through town, getting told that they suck by everybody, um, which is awesome. It's a little bit like in Dazed and Confused when Randall Pink Floyd is walking out after the baseball game towards the beginning, and that old man is like, "We expect a lot from you boys this year. You got a
Uh-huh.
lot of talent coming back." And he's like, "Yes, sir." Like it, just can't believe I'm dealing with this, but that's what I'm dealing with. And these two guys, Dwayne and Sonny, are just getting told that they're shitheads. Uh, and so like no high school football team to rally around. There's a pool hall that the women aren't allowed into, which seems like a really boring pool hall.
Bull.
Um, there's a diner or a cafe, and there's a movie theater, picture house, all owned by one dude, Sam the Lion. Um, that this guy is like the backbone of this town. He's kind of he's the moral center in some ways. Um, when the boys all decide that Billy, the simple kid who sweeps up the road, um, should probably get laid, they pull together $1.50 so that he can have sex with a prostitute in the back of a car, and she bloodied his nose because he doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, that was awful. And
Yeah.
Sam is like, "Fuck all of you kids. I'm so
Yep.
sick of watching this kind of shit happen. None of you can come in any of my places of business anymore. And I don't know if you noticed, but my places of business are the only places of business. So get fucked."
Yeah.
And uh, so in a town like that, there's nothing to do but fuck. It's all
Yeah.
that these kids are, I mean, or to fumble clumsily in back seats or in
No
the back rows of
kidding.
theaters. Um, it is just fumble fest, like left and right in this movie, all the way through. Uh, Sonny is dating Charlene, who is like, not the town looker, but
Nope.
she'll get in the front seat and take her bra off, and for a couple minutes, and that's about it. On our anniversary, no less. But they start out in the back of the theater, and Sonny's all distracted because Dwayne's getting to make out with Sybil Shepherd, who is hubba hubba.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the other thing I heard about this movie is like, if you ever wondered why Sybil Shepherd became Sybil Shepherd, all you have to do is put this movie on and you go, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah.
And I do. Uh, but I got to tell you, Ellen Burstyn was a revelation to me. I did not know she was that hot.
Cloris Leachman was a revelation to me.
Yeah.
Like, I know she's supposed to be like the plain one, but
Mm-hmm.
I found her to be like stunning in this very like weathered youth kind of way.
Sure.
And then also just, I mean, I've only ever seen her be funny. So it was
Mm-hmm.
incredible to see her do this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. And
Ellen,
she, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say Ellen Bernstein,
Burstin.
Burstyn.
Burstin. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone back and watched all the adults monologues because I think they were the most important part of the movie.
Yeah. I think so why don't we start out there? One of the things I wrote about this, and it was like the last note I was taking. But at first I wrote just about Sam and Lois.
Mm.
Um, because, Sam has his big monologue to Sonny out in the flats or whatever they call it, where Billy's fishing in a place that doesn't have any fish.
Yeah.
And where Sam's talking about, how he doesn't even mind there's no fish here. He doesn't even like fish. But he comes out here for the scenery, and the scenery is flat as fuck and nothing going on. Like it's bleh. But then he tells this story about a girl he brought out here, and how it's like she was already married and he was a little bit too old, but that was that was that was the moment like that he looks back on. That's the moment in his life where it's like, this is what is possible.
Mm.
This happiness that I've found, um, this is it. And that was Lois, which we find out later. And Lois is like telling JC, like, you should do all the opposite shit that I did because it hadn't worked out too well for me. I'm just here. Like, your daddy's rich.
Yeah.
Okay. That's, it's about all I got. And Ruth, who is the football coach's wife, Cloris Leachman, is having an affair with Sonny, basically because I was reading something where um, Cloris Leachman gave interviews that said that her relationship with her husband was broken because he was gay, and that there's a scene that was like that was cut, or they never, that really sort of fleshes it out. I was like, I didn't pick that up.
That
But
makes sense then,
yeah,
because the way everyone in town clearly knew about this, I'm like, this, you're telling me Texan husband hasn't done something about this, but that would make a lot of sense. And I forget what exactly the gym coach said in um in class, but there was something that, I don't know, made my ears prick up, like, gay radar?
oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe. I don't,
Just a little bit, not enough to have written it down or, messaged you, but
yeah,
that makes sense to me.
it makes sense to me too, because like that affair that Sonny thinks is so on the down low is like, fuck, dude, everybody knows. Like, literally the whole town has known about this. And also, you treated her real shitty when you dumped her for JC.
Dude. I mean, that is kind of the beauty of this movie is everyone is making mistakes right and left.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's not even any thought into it. People are just going by their gut instinct. They're just living life. Probably these people are probably having an easier time just living their lives, making choices, because at the end of the day, they know everyone's going to find out. They know they're going to deal with it in whatever way they deal with it. Like, it feels like the most lax look at making life decisions.
I mean, to me, it feels like all of the adults in this movie, Genevieve included, Eileen Brennan at the bar, um, Sam, Lois, Ruth, they're all watching these kids make the same mistakes that they made. And these adults are resigned to the fact that's just what's going to happen. Like, we can't stop these kids from doing dumb stuff. We can't stop them from hurting themselves and each other. We can yell at them when they do something that we think is horrible to the weaker among them, but
Yeah.
amongst each other, like, yeah, these are shithead kids, and they're going to do shithead kid stuff. And I wish that we could. I wish they would look at us and see that it doesn't have to go that way. But
Mm.
we're the models they have, and so we're just going to let them just die here. Like,
Yeah.
because that's like there's no out of this town.
No.
Like, Dwayne gets out because he's going to Korea, but we don't know if he ever comes back or not. In American Graffiti, who, like, I don't remember the end, like who did what, but whoever went to Vietnam, I don't think came back. Um, so they give you the title cards at the end with what happened to people and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I totally forgot about the title cards.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Um, so it's just like this movie has a deep sadness in it,
Yes.
and I think that is, like, it's why it was shot in black and white. It's meant to be depressing. It's meant to be hopeless. It's meant to be devoid of almost anything that's
Yeah.
joyful. Um, and it works because it's a sad sack of a movie. I mean, um, there's just, like, what's good here?
What a great question. It doesn't seem like anything, because I'm pretty sure, so we know the opening shot is of the town,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not much to look at.
Nope.
But then the final shot is also the town a year later, and it's even emptier
It's
somehow.
less because
It's
Sam died.
Yeah, all because Sam died. And even though
Yeah.
these businesses have been passed on to other people, I mean, the movie house dies,
Yeah.
you know, like Sonny seems resigned, like, oh yeah, I'm never leaving here. So
Hmm.
it's astonishing how much emptier it looks than in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, it was desolate to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, um, I don't know. I recommend listening to the song "Desolation Row" by Bob Dylan because it now feels very apt, just based on the image of this town.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's nothing joyous in this. And in American Graffiti, there's lots of things that are joyous.
Yeah.
You know,
There's still hope.
uh-huh. And in a lot of ways the movies are pretty similar. I mean, it's coming of age stories in small towns with cars, and all of the music comes from like in world placement, like the radio or a record player, or all, like, so it's all ambient sound.
Yeah.
But the different and there's, what is this, 1951, and we're talking about 1961 for American Graffiti, 62. um there's just like the music in American Graffiti is pop music of the time. It's rock and roll. It's
Hmm.
upbeat. It's guitars. The music in this is pop music of the time. It is Hank Williams. It is sad ass country,
Yep.
and it's the feel is so much different in these two movies, and they're the same. They're kids trying to get laid in the front seat of cars. Um, but this movie is like, here's what that looks like when nobody knows what they're doing.
I loved it.
Did you?
Yes.
You want to talk about intimacy now?
Let's go for it.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot, because it's everybody in this movie is just having bad sex with everybody else.
Yeah, I'll share what I with the cheese meisters what I shared with you, which is there's so much intimacy in this that I think 30 minutes in, I had to stop writing down all of it because normally I try to
Yeah.
write it all down because it's fun to point out to some people like, oh, this counts. Really? You'd need, yeah, it counts. Um, but there was so much.
Mm-hmm.
So after a while I went, I'm just gonna watch it and see what I see. Like,
Yeah.
try to figure out what stories are being told to me, what the intimacy is telling
Mm-hmm.
me. And one of the things the intimacy is telling me in this movie is that undressing is hard.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Undressing is so hard. Uh, I mean, even Sybil Shepherd when she's having her cool girl stripped down on the diving board, this doesn't bother
Mm-hmm.
me. I mean, she struggles, she slips,
Yeah. Falls on her
she
ass. Yeah.
yeah, she has this fantastic moment wherein she's trying to decide, oh god,
Top or
which do I
bottoms.
expose, yeah, which do
Yeah.
I expose first, my breasts or my genitals, which, and it's very subtle, but I thought that's such a real moment, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, so yeah, I mean, that would make sense. People who are in dressing in front of other people for the first time, that's going to be awkward. Also, I don't know, kids are just more gangly. They're
Yeah.
unsettled in their bodies because their bodies have just gone through a big change.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly their bodies can do adult things that adults don't want them doing.
Right.
Um, and they're very rarely educated on it. So they got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You know that the diving board striptease scene, I was reading about it. Um, she filmed that, just her and the director and the cameraman.
okay. That
Closed set.
good to know.
Yep.
I, you know, and leaning into the, I mean, one, great. I'm glad, especially because when you told me this was her first thing, that's part of why my eyes widened. Like, one, this is a big undertaking, but then also to jump into the Hollywood machine and then you're also stripping down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Apparently, she took the movie with the caveat that she could choose not to do those scenes.
Well, and I see that in some moments. There
Mm-hmm.
are like, compared to the other women who do end up showing their chest, there's a bit more yes and no, back and forth happening, because I think in sex scenes, I can't remember which one, but for the most part, maybe it's in the striptease actually. You don't see her breasts, maybe, but like a glimpse. And then you see a bit more later on, but it's never just out there. It's not like the girlfriend in the car in the very beginning who's just
Right.
like taking off her bra, sitting there, letting
Yeah.
him put his hand there.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of variety in how boobs are shown in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, it had a more realistic lens to it. It didn't feel like, and there they are. It felt like
Right.
this is life. These are people having a good time together. These are kids, you know, going skinny dipping, which
Mm-hmm.
kids do. Um, so yeah, undressing is hard. The next thing, young intimacy. And I don't even just mean like by age, but of course, in this instance, they are all kids, but
Mm-hmm.
it could be anyone inexperienced. Young intimacy looks stiff and awkward.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes, most of the time, I really liked it. It made sense to me. I think it's unnatural when they show kids looking super experienced and
Yeah.
like this is nothing, like this is easy.
Right.
And I also think that's part of what makes viewers watching it then feel inadequate. Like, well, why don't I look like that? I mean, porn
Right.
does the same thing, you
Yeah.
know? Um, some of the stiffness, though, I didn't like. I don't know if it was an artistic choice. So, like, I have a few examples. There
Okay.
were many times when someone would put their face in front of the others and they would kiss that way,
Mm-hmm.
but there was no movement. You just saw faces on face.
No, interesting.
Now, when you
Yeah,
saw
yeah, yeah.
people, yeah, when you saw people kissing in profile, then you would see their lips move a little bit,
Yeah.
but not like you do in later on in movies like we've discussed in 80s or 90s, probably more 90s and aughts. Um, let's see. Oh, people did not move their bodies when they were supposed to be having sex with someone. So
Oh.
often, the men being on top of women, they weren't moving.
Yeah.
And I, so the kissing and not moving, I think might have been an artistic choice. The men being on top in various situations, in various like intimate. So, like, you have Sonny on top of Pam,
Mm-hmm.
and it's his first time. And you don't see him move at all. You don't even see him really make a move like he's inserting himself. And you need that for the storytelling, otherwise it just looks like he's laying on top.
Right.
And then same with
But do you remember how weird it was in American Graffiti, the on top of
well,
Cindy Williams? Like that same, like, seems similar.
yeah, and I think that's another scenario wherein there wasn't a lot of movement. They're at least making out, and I don't know, I think there was more movement between them and just their making out than there was between Bottoms and Cloris Leachman.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think inexperience is even the excuse there. I think they just they didn't talk about
Mm.
how real it needs to look, which is fine. Again,
Yeah.
it blends into artistic choices, but it did bump me in that moment. And then more so later on when Dwayne is trying to hook up with JC the first time
Mm-hmm.
at the hotel,
Yeah.
and he's clearly on top, and he's trying to like either get himself there or
Right.
insert himself. There's no movement. He's
No.
just looking off. And then the lines end up telling the story more than the movement, but just
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those situations where I'm like, even if you're inexperienced, you're still going to be moving,
Right.
you like give some kind of like shoulder movement to show us like, okay, are you like trying to help yourself to like get started, or like what are
Right.
you doing? If you're just in like on all fours looking off, I don't know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. No, it was. I couldn't figure out what was happening in that scene. Like, other than like, it was clear that it was a failed attempt. Um, but I
It
was
could
like,
have been funny. It
yeah, but this movie's not about funny.
well, and it. I mean, it didn't. Funny is not a requirement. I feel like, but funny is a natural thing that happens when
Yeah,
you're fumbling and inexperienced. Although maybe you're not going to feel as comfortable laughing or not.
but
But
that's not what this movie's about.
true,
You
true.
know,
I thought it was really. I mean, I think no, I think this scene would have been perfect and lean into it because the way she's just laying there like a Disney princess, like,
mm-hmm,
okay, now take me.
mm-hmm,
Like that's funny.
right.
I feel like they could have leaned into that a little bit with like playing up the awkwardness and movement. Um, but yeah, young intimacy looks stiff and hard and or stiff and awkward. You know, Freudian slip there.
Not hard, not in this case.
No. Um, let's see. Nothing is hidden in a small town.
No, everybody
You
knows all
know,
of it.
and it's interesting though because Ellen Burstyn's character kisses Abilene at the dance in front of his
Evelyn,
date
yeah.
and everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
no one's talking about it.
No.
Cloris Leachman, Sonny, kiss out in the back after this beautiful, like, slow look up to each other. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's out in the dark. But then everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
Uh, no one is acting with any kind of shame. You know, it's
Yeah.
I I really found that interesting the whole time how everyone is just even the girls didn't seem worried about being slut shamed or anything. They were
No, like, because it's the only thing to do there, and everybody
yeah,
knows it. Like, but they're all doing it for different reasons. You know,
mm,
like JC's like, she's only interested in having sex with any of the people in this movie at the beginning, especially so that she can say she's done it,
yeah,
and so that she can fit in with the hoity-toity crowd at the pool.
yeah,
Like, and you know, she has that conversation with what's his ass in the bathroom in front of the mirror, where he's like, come back and see me when you're not a virgin anymore. You
yeah,
know, because he don't want any part of that. But he's down to clown. You know, they all are.
yeah,
And you know, Ruth is, and you know, she's looking for some kind of connection with anybody because she's not getting it from her husband. And you know, but JC is like, she's sort of trying to fuck her way out of town.
yeah,
You know, um, everybody else is just trying to pass the time. You know, more or
yeah.
less. So it's weird, the
And
sexual actions.
yeah, I think this is one of the most interesting cases of intimacy we've discussed, at least with
Mm-hmm.
this film, because again, I'm just, you know, when you think about 1950s, it's almost Victorian in how prim and proper they want it to, you know, TV wants you to think that that time was, and same with movies. And this movie blows all that out of the water. It's like, no, in this small town, it really doesn't matter. In fact, we also really don't even care. I mean, they are all so disinterested.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing any of them find any pleasure in being with each other. Um,
I'm not sure that they do.
well, and maybe that's why Sam's monologue is so important
Mm-hmm.
because clearly no one expects to even find love in this town.
No, no, God, no, God. Did you see anyone in love in this movie?
I mean, Ruth was definitely in love with Sonny.
I don't think so. I think um, she was happy with that relationship because it was fulfilling a need for her. I don't think she was in love with this kid. She understood that she was twice his age.
Yeah.
This was something that she was getting something out of that she wasn't getting out of her marriage. but I don't think she was in love with him. I think she was hurt by him when she was cast
Absolutely.
off without a word so that he could go chase in the younger piece of tail.
Yeah.
Um, I think she was 100% hurt, but I don't think there was love there. You know,
That's fair.
there was like, I think for her, he was like hope that she didn't see anywhere else. Like
Yeah.
she looked around her drabby house and went, "This could be nicer."
Yeah.
And it wasn't until she had a reason to think that things could be nicer that it even occurred to her to like hang new wallpaper. Blue's nice, I
Yeah.
guess. You
Yeah.
know. Um, but yeah, none of them are even seeking happiness.
I don't know. I feel like they think they are, like, because I don't know why. I mean, half the stuff that JC does, any of them really, but JC especially, I had a hard time following. Like, girl, why are you acting this way? Like, I get it if
Yeah,
you're bored, but like, why do you want to marry Sunny? And maybe,
right.
maybe I've just never been that bored, but she
So bored
really,
you're ready to get married.
you know what I mean? Like, just with someone who you don't really have a relationship with, and you're just trying, because she doesn't seem interested in him. There is no interest. She's not
Right.
interested in anyone. She's interested in fooling around, and that's fine. Or like you said, fucking your way out of town, that's also fine. But she really seemed like she just wanted the drama of, let's run away, let's get
Hmm.
married, and then the cops are going to chase us, and oh no, mom and dad caught us.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
It's very strange. And maybe Ruth doesn't actually love Sunny, but I really don't think she realizes until the end that oh, it was, you made me feel more alive, but this wasn't love. I don't know. There is there is a realization in that scene that I'm still trying to understand. I love everything they did with like the hands
Yeah.
after she had said like, "No, I'm done. I'm around that corner. You can't get me back." And it's like, "No, I can, but also maybe this isn't going to be great for either of us ultimately."
Yeah. I'm looking for because apparently that final scene with her um uh is what got her the Oscar, and it was a one take.
Wow.
Like, yeah, she wanted to rehearse it, and he didn't, and Bogdanovich didn't want her to. He wanted her to just go in feeling it, and they did a take, and she's like, "I'd like another one." He's like, "You don't need it. You just won the Oscar."
I
Yeah, he's like, "You don't know how good that was. You're just that good in that scene."
would love to read the script because I feel like this is one of those where if you read it, you understand it even more.
Yeah, I think reading the book might be really helpful.
Maybe.
You know, um, yeah. We may cut this, but let me. This is what her thing is at the end. Um, what am I doing apologizing to you? Why am I always apologizing to you, you little bastard? 3 months I've been apologizing to you without you even being here. I haven't done anything wrong. Why can't I quit apologizing? You're the one who ought to be sorry. I wouldn't still be here in my bathrobe if it hadn't been for you. I'd have my clothes on hours ago. You're the one who made me quit caring if I got dressed or not. I guess just because your friend got killed, you want me to forget what you did and make it all right. I'm not sorry for you. You'd have left Billy too, just like you left me. I bet you left him plenty of nights whenever JC whistled. I wouldn't treat a dog that way. I guess you thought I was so old and ugly you didn't know me any explanation. You didn't need to be careful of me. There wasn't anything I could do about you and her. Why should you be careful of me? You didn't love me. Look at me. You can't even look at me. See? Shouldn't have come here. I'm around that corner now. You've ruined it. It's lost completely. Just your needing me won't make it come back.
Mm.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And then what's driving me nuts though is trying to figure out like what she's trying to tell him, but his look stops her. And I think it's the realization, I think she sees on his face the resignation of like, I'm never getting out of here. And she's like, "Oh, you're just now figuring that out.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay."
Right. I mean, it's not going to be good. I'm wearing my
No,
bathrobe.
but I think she had a moment after she puts his hand on her face where she was about to go back into fantasy land of what this all was, and then she sees his self discovery, and it's almost like she becomes more comfortable. Like, oh wait, no, this is the reality.
Mm.
But I think I can be okay with it because you're clearly in a worse place than I am right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've known what you just realized for years.
Right. What other, do you have more intimacy things? Because we just keep going off in tangents, which is cool.
It is. You know what? If anything comes up, I will happily discuss it again later. But I think I hit on the points that I wanted to. Again, there was so much.
Okay. The one thing that we sort of skipped over at the top, and we can just call this what else time if we want to. It doesn't make any difference to
Okay.
me, because Needle Drop Forest is all Hank Williams coming through the radio all the time, and how just fucking sad that is. The big thing that I just kept taking from this movie, and from, I was watching a few interviews with Bogdanovich afterwards, is how much of this movie and Bogdanovich in general is about mythologizing the past.
Mm.
Like most of the mythologizing the past in part because there's no future here in this town, right?
Yeah.
Like the first movie that we see is Father of the Bride when they go to the theater,
Yeah.
and that is a world that is so fantastical to these kids. They can't relate to that. That's make believe, that kind of suburbia, not living here. And the last movie they watch is Red River, which is a western, set in Texas. But I mean, there's a lot of, they're taking the cattle places.
Yeah.
Um, it's a good movie. I watched it relatively recently.
Oh.
Yeah. It's John Wayne and Montgomery Clift before his accident, and so you can be like, oh yeah, Montgomery Clift was handsome. Like,
Oh no, what happened?
oh yeah, he was horribly disfigured in a terrible car crash in
Oh no.
California at like the height of his powers. Um, yeah, it's a it was a tragic circumstance. He was never the same afterwards. It's interesting reading up on him and his, fame and fall after that accident. But um, like Bogdanovich chose Red River because he wanted something set in Texas
Mm.
that was about the past and what this land was like and why it drew a certain kind of person here and what they were trying to accomplish. And but it's about the past. When you see interviews with Bogdanovich, how familiar are you with Peter Bogdanovich? Do you even know who he is?
I didn't before I read about this movie. I would like to know more.
Yeah, he did a lot of really good stuff in the 70s, a lot of stuff with Polly Platt that he gets credit for. Again, go listen to that podcast.
As usual.
Yeah. But like this was his second movie. And so he was given like wonderkind treatment. Like
Mm.
people were talking about his past as a movie critic or as someone who interviewed directors, watched a lot of movies. In a lot of ways, he is in 1971 talked about in the same way that Quentin Tarantino is in 1994.
Yeah.
Like you get the mythology of Tarantino working in the video store and being a student of movies and loving film and knowing everything about it, and there's all the same beats with Bogdanovich. But for Bogdanovich, it was uh, Howard Hawks and John Ford and Orson Welles and Hitchcock and those directors from the earlier ages of Hollywood, because he was seen as like a young bridge,
Mm.
and he even like he thought he was a failure because his goal had been to direct his first movie by the time he was 25, because that's what Orson Welles did with Citizen Kane.
Oh, good grief.
And it took him, he was 27 when he made his first movie, so in his mind he was like, like that's the standard he was holding himself to. But when you
I
go
get
and
it.
sure,
But I'm like a
sure,
decade behind, so
well,
eat
look,
it, Bogdanovich.
here's what I'll say: wait until the gang graduates from college and go, man, all the stuff that Kelly Taylor went through by the time she was 22, I'm feeling real good about myself.
Fair
um
enough. I
yeah,
can't wait.
it goes both ways. Um, but he's he's trying to rewrite the history that people are telling about him in the moment.
Mm.
Like, because people are like, you were a movie critic. Well, I wasn't really a movie critic. I started out, I took acting classes and I did this and I idolized these directors and I talked to this person. And I mean, yes, it's true. I watch a lot of movies. I love movies. Movies are important to me, blah, blah, blah. But there's this auteur thing going on with him that is so mythologizing. And I think it gets played out publicly over the next decade or two of his career. And even when I was watching some interviews from like the 90s where he was talking about Last Picture Show, and like what it was like when he made it all those years ago and all that kind of stuff. And it's still the myth of the movie, the myth
Yeah.
of the creation of the story and the choosing of the town and the black and white and like the importance of casting to him and getting Cloris Leachman to play Ruth, and Ellen Burstyn wasn't sure which role she wanted to play, and like they just are constantly mythologizing the creation of this movie. And he gets 2 supporting actor Oscars for people that he cast because he knew they were great. And so of course Wonderkind, and it's you know but that's what the movie's about too. Like, the movie is about looking back at the past and
Mm.
how great it was. And Sam the Lion is doing the same thing when he's giving his speech about who turns out to be Lois and the riding the horses or whatever they're doing down there where the water is. um they're all looking back at how good things were, sadly,
Yeah.
because they're not that good anymore. And you kids who are doing this boneheaded shit right now, like, this is what Randall Pink Floyd was worried about. If I ever start referring to these as the best days of my life, remind me to shoot myself.
Yeah.
You know, um, it's very similar.
Except I don't know. That's clearly a natural way for many people. Like
Yeah. Um, I I've never felt that way.
I know you're healthy.
Fuck yeah. I mean, I look
I'm
back with great fondness on, large parts of my childhood and adolescence and, um, but I neither lament nor mythologize any of it, really. I mean, it's
I don't think I mythologize. I'm quite honest about while I miss those times, high school and college a lot, I am very well aware that they were still emotionally tumultuous times.
sure.
But this is, I mean, this is my conundrum often is, I end up romanticizing the past just a little bit because I'm like, I got through those tough times. I don't know if I'm going to get through this one.
Of course you
Even
will.
though it's like, of course you're going to. But then
Hmm.
I don't want to I don't want life to keep being a series of like, oh man, I wish I could go back to that summer of 2025. Like, good Lord.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Too much
Yeah,
John Sears that summer. My God.
yeah, exactly. So I I don't think I have like a healthy want for like high school and college, but I don't know. It just depends on my mood. Sometimes I fear
Mm-hmm.
that's when I peaked uh for joy and theater. And then other times I'm like, I don't know. I watched this movie and I feel like for the first time ever I understood that like, oh, grief is a part of life. Oh, this is just life. Like
Mm-hmm.
no matter where you live, if you get to experience it, if you get to have a childhood, that's a very lucky thing. But
Mm-hmm.
it's always going to be a gate closing or a door closing. It's always going to be a big moment when you leave that behind. And you might end up you some of us end up chasing feelings from those younger years and some of us don't, but there is a complacency in this movie that I think is very natural to the human experience.
I especially for people who feel trapped.
Yeah.
You know, like Genevieve in the diner is like, I'm gonna be making these hamburgers till you got grandkids because we have $4,000 in medical debts.
Well, and it's really interesting because I think that's also a theme for Joey and her motivation all throughout Dawson's Creek.
Hmm.
And yet I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking about Cape Side, setting for Dawson. And I'm like, Cape Side is way better than this town. Like,
Sure.
it's crazy that but again, I think it's that universal feeling. Like, no matter what kind of small town you're in, I think a lot of people are worried about never going anywhere, never
Mm-hmm.
experiencing the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a lot of sense in a town like, like this place
Mm-hmm.
in the Last Picture Show. Um, Other places a little less so, but again, I think that's a healthy part of the human experience is
Mm-hmm.
wanting to get out and
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Sonny's trying to get out though.
No,
You know what I mean? Not everybody tries.
I mean, he has a moment where, after what happens to Billy, it's like he doesn't want to be in the town where he keeps losing people. I think he'd
Right.
rather be around strangers and not feel anything. But then he realizes he can't leave. It's a
Mm-hmm.
it's such a unique and I don't even think it's just that he can't leave. I think it's what am I going to do? Where
Yeah.
am I going to go?
Mm-hmm.
You have to want to leave. You have to want to see beyond to leave
Mm-hmm.
home. Otherwise, you're just leaving to leave. And
Right.
then you're going to be really lost.
Right. Have you tried Hare Krishna?
uh-huh.
Um, I was glancing through reviews, and so I did not see who wrote this, but I I did see somebody say something along the lines of the one thing that every character, especially these three main characters, learn in this movie is that they can hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Like they have the power to hurt, and I think that was pretty interesting. Like JC hurts both of the boys, um, and Sonny hurts Dwayne and Ruth and Billy, and Dwayne hurts Sonny and Charlene and Billy.
Mm.
Um, I think both the boys kind of hurt Sam a little bit too, you know. Um,
Uh-huh.
but Sam also forgives
Yes.
because he doesn't think they were trying to hurt the kid.
Yeah.
But he also thinks that was shitty and they shouldn't have done that. I don't know. I never did ask you this. Is this anyone's defining role?
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
anyone. I never I hadn't seen it, so of course I don't know anyone from it. I mean, I feel like it's another scenario wherein the lead boy, Sonny,
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen him in anything else. Doesn't mean he didn't continue to be a prolific actor.
He's in a lot of things that I don't know if I ever saw any of them. You know, Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a long career. I think he's still working.
But like this was a starter project or a continuation of one's oeuvre. Because like
Mm-hmm.
we know Eileen Brennan is Mrs. Peacock. We
Right.
know, granted, I have never really watched anything with Sybil Shepherd. I grew up seeing her from the sidelines on
Mm-hmm.
TV. But it wasn't anything that I watched.
Yeah,
Um, Jeff Bridges, we know from so many other things. He's the dude.
he's the dude.
He's
Yeah,
the dude.
he's
I know.
he's
I
become
caught
the dude
myself.
in real life. Like he's just like if you watch interviews with him now, he's like he is just the dude all the time. It's kind of amazing.
Good for him. I
Mm-hmm.
would consider myself lucky to achieve that level of zen. And I think the world would be entirely confused, but
Mm-hmm.
also happier as well
The dude
if I can chill
abides.
out. Um, Ellen Burstyn, I knew
Burstin.
Burston, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually knew her first from Sisterhood of the Yeah, Sisterhood. You've
Yeah, yeah.
confused me now because
It's
you
all the same fucking
conflated,
thing. It's the
and
same movie.
also like Requiem for a Dream, the most traumatizing film I have ever seen.
Oh, I've not seen that. I
Don't
just
ever
know
watch
Ellen
it.
Burstyn as being a person who exists. Um, like I don't know. I'd have to let me look her up real quick and see what. I mean, Cloris Leachman. I think I knew her from Facts of Life. Um,
I know her more from
oh,
the Office episode.
oh, there you go. Ellen Burstyn is in The Exorcist. That's probably what I know her from. That movie's fucked up. But I that's 5 or 6 years after this. My image of her in my house is in my house. My image of her in my head is of her older.
Yes.
Um, so I did not know what she looked like when she was in her 30s or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but like as much as people are like, "Oh, you're going to get it with Sybil Shepherd," and I do. Holy moly, did I get it with Ellen Burstyn?
Oh my
So,
gosh. Yeah.
yep, there
Yeah,
she is.
but
Requiem for a Dream.
ultimately, I'm not sure that this is anyone's defining role.
Yeah, I think people would have said that it was Sybil Shepherd's for
Sure.
quite a while.
This movie was a great educational reminder for me of the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic music.
Okay.
Have you heard of that term?
Yeah. Which one means it's coming from the radio in the movie?
Diegetic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
'cause
didn't bother to look it up, but yeah, that this movie is all that. Yeah.
well, when I was reading up about the film and production and all of that, it mentioned diegetic music. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is one of those terms that I know, but I can never
Yeah.
remember. And again, it's just one of those from when you have a theater degree, you're like, I kind of want to make sure I have this memorized.
Right.
Like all the branches of method.
Right. Oh,
So yeah.
Stella Adler, by the way, Bogdanovich studied with Adler.
Oh, interesting. All right.
I saw him
Cool.
mention it in one of his interviews.
And of course, now I forget which. I think Adler was one that we liked.
I think Adler
yeah,
was one you thought was okay.
because Stella Adler went to Stanislavski near the end of his life, and Stanny said, "No, Strasberg had it all wrong. I want things to evolve this way." And yeah, okay, great.
Yep.
Everyone, go back and listen to us talk about On the Waterfront.
That's right. Our On the Waterfront episode. Method acting 101.
Method acting breakdown.
That's right.
So yeah, diegetic music is music that the characters are hearing within their world, and it's part of the scene. Whereas, what's going on? No, just that. Whereas non-diegetic music is, stuff that would not be heard by anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and this movie, like he leans into that real hard, and it's super effective. But it feels very much like the sad version of American Graffiti.
Yes, it really did. Like I can't tell you what the songs were, but I can tell you that with each scene that I heard them, I went, well, that fits perfectly with this moment.
Right, exactly.
It was so purposeful, and I wish I could have clocked it better,
Hmm.
but I could not take notes and watch this movie in one viewing
Yeah,
simultaneously.
it's too much happening, especially for the stuff that you're specifically focused on. You
Yeah.
know, there's just there was a lot. I mean, so much fumbling in
So
this
much
movie.
fumbling, so much, I mean, even again, so much stiffness. And I mean, this makes sense to me, but like anytime guys put their hands on a woman's breast, the hand did not move.
Right.
It kind of did like what Dustin Hoffman does in The Graduate. Just, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? This is where I put
Yep.
my hand. And
Yep.
she is, I love that moment. It is so funny. No, she's like taking off her shoes or something.
Yeah.
She's doing her own thing, not even noting it. And then I think he goes into a corner and starts hitting his head.
Yes. Yes. It's
And
so
I'm like,
funny.
that is the appropriate response.
Yep.
Um,
It's amazing.
but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, we've seen a lot of portrayals of young intimacy in and discussed it a lot,
Hmm.
but this one felt the most apt. I'm sure I've said
Uh
that
huh.
about another one before, but now I've changed it. It's this one because I
They're also bad at it.
they're so bad at it.
Uh huh.
And it's kind of delightful because not that I need art to be real to make sense or to be good, but you know, I feel like this movie is leaning into the reality of their world, and
Yeah.
nothing is sexy or shiny or lovely in this world.
And also, it's like even the one thing that they have as a diversion, because the picture show and the pool hall and all of that stuff, um, is unsatisfying and incredibly brief.
Yes.
Like every time, it is unsatisfying and brief for everyone involved.
Yeah.
It's not like the guys are like, this is great, yeah.
Yeah.
You
No one
know,
is.
like, they're just, even like at the beginning when he breaks up with Charlene and he's like, well, I'd hate for you to keep feeling like this, so I guess we should break up. We're like, well,
Yeah.
that happened fast.
And she's like kind of performatively annoyed, but then
Right.
also, I mean, they have class together the next day and it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what else? Um, did the fight between Dwayne and Sonny make you feel like Brandon and Dylan at the Texas Dip contest? Like,
No,
here's your love triangle. Come to blows.
it didn't. It once again made me think of Dawson and Pacey fighting over Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, they get into a fight over the PSATs and what happens to the answers. And then after they leave the PSATs, they're like, if we're gonna fight, we should at least fight over a chick. Foreshadowing.
Facts.
I know. So yeah, I'm sorry. This movie, it's in Dawson's Creek world. Like,
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, it's been a longer time for me since I watched the Dawson, yo.
yeah.
Um, but I did kind of want Sonny to try to punch Dwayne and end up punching somebody else.
Oh, that would have been much better than Glass getting. The fight was just as stiff and weird as some of the intimacy. Like, I think the intimacy, they felt they could be more brazen, and whereas the fight felt like, oh god, this is serious because Glass is going to go near someone's face. We've
Mm,
got again, yeah, people worry more about the physical health before the emotional health, and that
mm,
makes sense because you can see if something goes wrong in a fight scene.
yeah.
You can't always see what goes wrong in an intimate scene.
Apparently, that fight scene, I was watching Bogdanovich talk about it, they didn't shoot a master of that. It was only a series of like cutaway shots.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, and he was using the cuts to propel the action forward. But like they were like, you should get coverage of this. He's like, nah, I got it. He's like, I cut it in the camera. I shot only what I needed to shoot.
I feel
And
like our style would be similar. I'd be like, no, I got it. Let's
yeah,
move on.
yep. Yeah. So, um, any what else's?
Um, oh gosh. Let me just look through. Some of the intimacy was kind of shot the same way with the back and forth, like specifically when Dwayne and JC are in the car and she puts his hand on her leg,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a series of cuts where it goes from back and forth from their faces to where his hand is on her leg,
Mm-hmm.
and it's never all in one shot. I don't think
No.
it's and I found that really unique. There are a lot of shots that are just straight on, people looking at each other, someone putting their head in front of them and kissing that way.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting shooting and storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this movie's pretty good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I understand why people were like, you should watch this. Um, which I like. To me, that's the big motivator. Like, the canon is like a problem, whatever.
yeah,
But if someone is saying this movie is worth your time, it's worth finding out why.
yeah,
Whether you agree or not, it's worth finding out why people hold a thing in such high esteem. Um, and I'm glad I saw this. It's I don't think
me
I'm going to
too.
watch it again. I'm not going to go back and base my life on it or anything. But I'm glad I saw it.
I definitely want to take, like, I'm not going to watch the whole thing again, but there are scenes that I would
Yeah.
be interested in studying because, like I
Mm-hmm.
told you, I think the the mood that he gets across in this film is similar to moods I have been trying to get across when I write about our hometown. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Make it in black and white. Problem solved.
I
I guess.
don't know. I'm
Did,
more intrigued to try sepia.
there you go. There was one of the interviews I saw was him on Dick Cavett, and Mel Brooks was there too. And Dick Cavett asked Mel Brooks if he would ever make a movie in black and white, because it was a big deal that this movie was in black and white. They're like, I can't believe they let you do a black and white movie. And Mel Brooks was like, if it makes sense for the story, and it does here, it's
Yeah,
totally worth doing. And the whole time I'm thinking, I wonder if this is when he decided to do Young Frankenstein. Like,
maybe.
he does that movie in black and white about 5 years later,
Yeah,
and it makes total
which I
sense.
haven't seen.
So, oh, really? That's we should watch that at some point.
Let's find a
Um,
reason.
okay, we'll absolutely
I
do
love
it.
Mel Brooks.
What is this the EST of for you?
This is the dustiest coming of age movie.
It's super dusty. Um, I'm going to say that this is the last picture show. Nailed it.
Wow.
It's a superlative. Last.
Boo!
Are you saying boo or boo earns?
Boo!
I was saying boo earns.
Wow.
Yep. Once again, we have proven my theory, Cheesemeisters, that everything comes back to Aaron Spelling.
Even the last picture show.
That's right. Even this final picture show, Red River. So join us here on Wednesday, Cheesemeisters, when we watch season 5, episode 3, A Clean Slate. And here next Friday for we haven't decided what yet.
Nope.
So I don't even have any ideas. I think I'm gonna have to watch the episode and get a feel, because I just don't like. Once the season gets really rolling, I'll have like a ton of things that are like this boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But like I don't know exactly how much setup is happening here and how much we're like jumping in and rolling through some stuff. So maybe something about class politics, running for office,
Ooh.
that kind of thing, political intrigue. because there's some bullshit with Alex Diaz, motherfucker.
Who's that?
Oh, just wait. Alex Diaz and Latinos Unidos. He's up to some stuff, Alex Diaz. Basically, he just tells everybody things we already know.
Oh,
And
boo.
people go, Brandon did that? So,
Oh, good Lord.
maybe
So
that's
Brandon's going to get
disqualifying
dragged
from
through the
office.
mud?
I mean, you know.
I can't wait. Ruin his life.
Stuff. That's right. Make it bad. Make it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll figure it out. And whatever it is, it's going to be fucking awesome because it's us. So, until then, Cheesemeisters.
Cheers.
Cheers.